So have bulls regained control here in the SPY and SPX? Let's take a look as we've closed the week just below that 6,000 handle. And let's get into the analysis here. Again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. By the way, last day to get 40% off Essentials course, pure TA, no nonsense. Over 8 hours of material in that now with the updates that I did at the beginning of the year. Use code course25 by midnight tonight and improve your trading skills. Anyway, let's get into it today here. So long week. Spiders are SPX at 1% today, and take a look at what they did here. So we knew that they were pushing down and bringing out calls. I talked about that earlier last week. I said a lot of this move is related to that 600 call, and it's not that 600 leap OPEX, right? Very, very important that it's leaps. There's a lot in the system, and it wasn't a coincidence that the Qs got down to 500, and that's kind of where we bottomed. And you can see the SPY 600 call did ultimately go to zero. The put paid out pennies, and pretty much got killed on both sides on the SPX. So they burned out the calls here. Really, you can make a case they burned out calls really this whole time. And puts got it this week. So we gapped down on Monday, obviously. And I have adjusted this trend line now just because that is where we are respecting. So previously I had it through the wick. And something I talked about here in the course, for instance, is I don't care. People are like, oh, it has to go through the wick, it has to go through the body. It goes where the market's respecting. That's where I draw it and telling me that's where it wants it. So anyway, liquidity grab here, gap down, and pretty much a massive move. Take a look at, and this is how you know it was pinned. Even if you were born yesterday, you could see this. That beautiful algorithmic buy program at 8 o'clock out of nowhere on the NQ and the ES. And where do we stall out? Right at 6K. So very nice move here. Now, if you're a bear, I don't want to hear any excuses here. So this is, if you're going to go short, right? If you're telling me it's a sell the rip market, you better be short right now, because here's your shot, right? You got a 618, you got the 4-hour 200 MA, you got the breakdown bar high, right? What are you waiting for? So don't tell me that if we go through this, it's up to, 6,100. And if that goes, that 786 goes, we're off to the races here. So for SPX, I'd say right around 60.30. So you better step in next week. I don't want to hear about how it didn't, this, that, and the other thing. But yeah, so if you're bearish, you should be stepping in right here. I mean, am I wrong about that? So we'll see. Nice gap here. And you want to see a rejection here on not Monday, obviously Tuesday. We have the inauguration. We'll see what goes on with that. But you got a gap. You got to get through 59.50. And then, if you can break 59 even, you've got some air here to 58.70. Right? So this is the bear case for next week. And there's your 618 there. Right? So you got to break these levels. You got to start seeing rejection quickly, like preferably Monday. If I'm a bear, I want to see, they're going to make you hold the risk into the weekend, right? You got a short right here. They're not just going to give you that sell on Friday afternoon. But you want to see, I would say, just gap down. Gap down, clear 59.50, go towards 5900. Like, you need a reaction here. Don't give bulls a chance to put in higher lows. That said, you could still put in a higher low at 58.70 with a 618, right? But what you definitely don't want to see as a bear is sideways action. Sorry. There's, sideways action here, because that's telling us that we're consolidating, scooping up shares to push up. So that's kind of what I'm going to look for immediately early next week, determining, how this tape is going to trade. But very, very good action, very good day traders market. Not much in the way of day trades this morning. They did everything right at 8 o'clock, kind of jumped it out of the gun and kind of screwed up my plan. But lately, though, there's been more than enough setups here, and you can see the Qs. A little fake print, by the way, on the Qs, so maybe there is some, fake print to 513.11. We did, however, close the week outside of the falling wedge. And again, speaking of weekly, again, there's telling me all this stuff here, but where's the damage on the Qs? There is zero. There's none. You cannot reasonably say, you cannot factually say there's damage. All you have now is a retest of the high and the 20 DMA, or 20 week moving average rather. All right, so if you want to use it a falling wedge, you can draw it differently, but either way, that's strong. Weekly candle on SPY and SPX still strong. So, we talked about this last week. If bulls can't come in here and break us above where 58.70 on a close, bears have control, and they kind of lost that here. So they're going to have to step in really quickly to reverse these weekly charts. Additionally, what's the level I've been talking about for the last month? IWM 225. We just got a weekly close back above that with a retest of the 50-week moving average, right, and a 618 hit. So even small caps are holding up. Diamond, again, weekly chart, zoom out, never really confirmed a weekly downtrend with a lower high, and just retesting that breakup bar, good outside move for the Dow. So bears got to prove it next week. I'm not saying they can't. Like, they could gap us down Tuesday, but they need to do it. They need to get in there. SMH up 2.3. I think Broadcom had Broadcom was up nicely the last 2 days. TSM, again, minor yellow flag, didn't make new all-time highs on the earnings. We got Netflix on Tuesday as well. That'll set the bar for tech as always. But semis holding up. NVIDIA, before I get to IGV, NVIDIA had a good day, but still not above yesterday's high. This has been a laggard. From what I'm seeing in the tape, there's a lot of negative gamma on Mag 7. I think that can roll off next week. We'll see. They are pre-earnings too, so there may be some game playing moving forward. But NVIDIA noticeably underperforming as of late. And for IGV, that's a failure on the head and shoulders. So close the week above 100 and the neckline. So failed pattern there. Little pivot at 104 and then up to 106 would be your next levels. You still have room for a lower high, but we have a failed pattern on our hands. And if we look at the weekly, you never really had a head and shoulders, did you? It was just a pullback to the 20. Again, use those larger time frames. The daily chart lies all the time. The weekly lies a lot less, and the monthly lies even less than that. There's your 16.2, again, officially tagged today, 16.6. There was 16.2 there on DJT. Red day today down 1%. I'd like to see it get above 16.7 to negate the inside bar pattern. But it's got time to do that if they want. All right, interest rates today. So there's Bitcoin. We'll get into that in a second. 2-year, again, up nicely. So getting a bounce here in yields. 10s and 30s still holding trend right now. So we still held that 20-day by the close. I still think it's top heavy, but we got a bounce there, kind of right at that, 4.8 level. So right there, plus this recent breakout. We'll see. I still think it's a little crowded, and we could see some more backing and filling down to 4.65. I'm not super bearish yields, but I just think they could do more on the downside. But hey, if they hold this area, they can try to go for 5.2 on that long end. And a lot of people are talking about, Trump this, Trump that. He's going to force rates down. You guys have to understand what the yield curve is. Like, this isn't the last 40 years of bond bull market where rates just move in the same direction. Yield curve matters a lot more now, because if you are dovish, it's just going to push that long end even higher. So you can get the 2s down, but you're going to force that long end up at the same time. So don't think there's this one answer catch-all, analysis for bonds. It's not going to be like that anymore. But anyway, XHB up 46 cents. Again, I talked about this yesterday. It needs to do another day or two of consolidation. We got one under the belt, and it made a higher high today too. So XHB hanging in there. We've known that 111 is resistance, and it's been a pivot point for a while. VNQ closing fractionally down. But I said, again, it needs to do another day or two of backing and filling. There's one out of the way. Here's something that bears don't want to see. Not even XLF. I mean, 49.30 close above that is important. But you got JPM at a daily, weekly, and monthly all-time closing high. Morgan Stanley at a daily, weekly, monthly closing all-time high, and Goldman. So the big players are healthy, and that's usually not something you want to fade. So just be aware of that. KRE, again, needs another day of consolidation. It can break through 64. ABE needs another day or two of consolidation. It can break through 58, 59. And broker-dealers just never need to consolidate more than 1 day or two, and they just go back to all-time highs. So that's the rules. I don't make the rules. I just follow them. Crude here down 42 cents. It's been on a tear lately, and not really backing off a ton, is it? You know, even with rates coming down. So we'll see. 76 kind of retested that already. But yeah, I'd say 75, 76 could be a possible retrace if we get down early next week. But you're also still extended, so it wouldn't be surprising to me if that didn't hold on the first test, and we just kept going down to the 20 moving average. But yeah, oil's still holding up. XLE almost to that 95 target. So it's been a good trade here lately. XOP inside here, and OIH, I told you, don't look for it to break 300 too much, and pierced it and closed below. So I think energy short term needs a little bit of a pullback or digestion, but outside of that, that's okay. CCJ at 4.25, so it held 48, which it needed to do. Right, there's a lot of air here. See this? A lot of air. So you want to hold that. We'll see if Trump comes up with something. SMR and OCLO are starting to curl back up. So no real damage on these two. So it seems that energy market is pricing in some sort of legislation here. At least, I don't know. That's me speculating anyway. Nat gas here, outside move down, 8%, up 8%, down 8%, up 10%, down 10%. That's nat gas. Again, it's free money for shorts until it's not, and right lately it has not been. So back below 4. I'm gonna look at the H right now as we're rolling kind of soon. H24, H25. I'm just gonna say 370 on this is your level to break, and then I can try to go for 4. But I mean, this is stretch. It's hard to do like really reasonable analysis on this when you're up as much as it is. I mean, this is what, like 50% almost. Yeah, it is 50% in a few weeks. Dollar index. This is continuing to, the dips are still getting bought. So dollar bulls are still relentless, but I'll tell you one thing though. Look at the distance here between these hits. Look at the distance between these hits, and then look at the distance here, right? You are getting higher highs, but you're going up for a couple days and then coming back. You're going up for 6 weeks, coming back. Going up for 5 weeks, coming back. Going up for 3 weeks, coming back. Going up for 1 week, 3 days, right? And then coming back. It's losing steam. So starting to see momentum decline. Still have control. That doesn't mean anything, until it does. But just be aware of that. Bulls still have control. But it's taking a time. It's taking a lot of work to do a lot less. Gold here down 50 basis points today, but again, right into 27.50. This is fine here. No problems. Don't make it complicated. Silver backing off as well. So a little bit weaker with the lower highs, but I think silver's okay. I think dips can still be bought here. Platinum and palladium are starting to prove themselves a little bit. I'd like to see a little bit more though. But they're starting to prove a little bit. Copper finally backing off. We told you a 445 area would be resistance. It's not a surprise. What I do like about copper is you have a failed weekly bear flag now. By definition, right? 433 is the high. There's your close. So that's failed. So good to see that for copper. Bitcoin, it's flying. Just a stone's throw from all-time highs now. Higher high, beautiful liquidity grab. We talked about that Monday. Higher high looks good. Heck, even some of these alts, Doge, higher highs, higher lows now. I like Cardano right now too. Looks pretty good. Solana doesn't have the higher high yet, but these structures are all pretty good on a lot of these alts. Litecoin had a good day today. Again, crypto space, this is, it's good to pay attention to that. And I mentioned this for several weeks, like over and over, and oh, the market's crashing, but, fart coins at all-time highs. So, is it really crashing, or is this just like churn out in rotation? We'll know pretty soon. We get above 60-30, I think we'll know pretty soon. But anyways, we'll see what we get. Bear's got to step up next week and try and push us back below at minimum 59.50, I think, very quickly, and then 5900. And then we can start challenging these lower pivots here. So, anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up here. Again, you guys take care. Don't forget to come find me on carnivoretrades.com. We'll see you guys all next week.